Hi Queens, Sam here. I hope that you're doing amazing. In today's video, I want to share with you an update on my 2025 goals. As you may know, I have two goals for 2025 when it comes to financial goals. The first one is to contribute at least $2,500 to each of my kids' RESP. So RESP stands for Registered Education Savings Plan. And the second goal was to put a minimum of $5,000 on my debt. So for the first goal, which is essentially contributing a minimum of $2,500 to each of my kids' RESP, I have already achieved that goal for my oldest. And then, so I have only my two youngest ones that I need to do that for. And I believe that I'm on track to actually achieve that. And for the three kids, what I've been actually doing is leveraging what I've shared with you in one of my recent videos here on how to optimize your money and really stretch your dollars, on how to essentially, leveraging. In my case, I'm actually leveraging the Canada Child benefit. So when I get that, I contribute all of it into my kids' RESP. And so that's how I'm able to actually making sure that I'm consistently putting money into my kids' RESP. So that's a very great way to actually, achieve that particular goal for me without having to take the money from my income. So that's one thing that you may want to consider if you're receiving any sort of support because you have young kids. The second one is essentially putting a minimum of $5,000 in onto my debt. As you may or may not know, 2024 was a very difficult year for me financially. Personally, a lot of things happened. I went back to work after the mat leave. I had to put my twins into a private home daycare because I couldn't find a subsidized spots for them like I needed to at the same time, which is sometimes very difficult to get in a center where it's there is a subsidy for that. And so for literally 6 7 months, I was driving my twins to the private home daycare, paying an arm and a leg for that, and then also my oldest at the time was still in preschool. And financially, it was really tough. It was tough on my money. I was not prepared for that, and so I had to take money from my line of credit to cover a portion of the daycare costs for my kids. And on top of that, in 2023, I changed my car. I went from an SUV to a minivan because I needed a car that was big enough to put three car seats in. So having to change the car, and that was at the time where for some reason the used car market was as expensive as almost the new car market. So I ended up trading my car in and doing all that, but still having to pay a good chunk of money to get my minivan. And because I didn't have the money for that, I also took from my line of credit. So in total we're talking about $21,000. And so my goal for 2025 was to attack as much as I could that debt, and for me was a minimum of $5,000. The way I was planning on having that $5,000 was because I'm part of a susu. And so if you don't know what is a susu, I'll strongly recommend that you grab the Wealthy Black Women Summit 2024 replay pass, which I'm going to put a link in the description of this video below, because essentially we talked about it. And essentially, you're part of a susu, everybody contribute a certain amount each month, and someone collect the pot. And I knew that I was going to be collecting the pot sometime in July or August of this year. So I knew that at a minimum I will have $5,000 which will come to me at that point, and I really wanted to dedicate that $5,000 in its entirety to paying down my debt. Because the reality is, like, in my day-to-day, when it comes to my income, unfortunately I only have one solid stream of income now, which is for me, working for someone. I really don't have that like margin to be able to put any money on my debt, unfortunately. So I knew it had to come from somewhere. Well, I say that, but at the same time, the $500 that I contribute to the susu is coming from that income. So I guess somehow I'm doing that, but just knowing that I have to contribute that $500 no matter what each month, it's a good way for me to making sure that essentially I'm going to be paying down that debt eventually. If you're someone that is really good with discipline and accountability to yourself, you may not need to be part of a susu. I'll say in my life for certain things I'm very good, and for some other things I'm not. But I really want to get rid of that debt. And so when I got my $5,000 in August, that's what I did. And also I was waiting for that to actually do this video update. So I literally put that $5,000. I paid down um, my debt, and so now I'm sitting around $16,000. So it was 21, and now I'm sitting around $16,000. I'm not sure, how much I can chip at that debt again by the end of the year, but at least I know that for that second goal, I've already met that, which is the $5,000 at a minimum. Now, so, if I can generate some additional revenue somehow, I will be more than happy to put that money also toward my debt. So there you have it. That's how things are going for me at this point when it comes to my goals for 2025. I'm trending, sitting quite, pretty, if you want to say. I'm just missing, to put that total $2,500 into each of my youngest ones RESP, and I believe that I'm on track to do that probably by the end of December. That's really the goal for me. So let me know in the comments below how you have been doing with your goals this year. And honestly, if you need a little bit of a push when it comes to your goals, I will suggest that you join us for the Wealthy Black Women Summit, which is happening this year on November 22nd. It's an online summit for Black women building wealth. This year theme is Wealth is Resistant. And so we're going to be talking about topics that we don't talk enough of in the Black community and, among us Black women, but are really crucial to building wealth. So I hope that you join us. I'll put a link below as well for you to grab your pass and join us on November 22nd. And until next time, keep on building wealth. Bye bye.